Okay, this is the third video in the Webchat control messages demo videos. So just to recap, we have a few ways where you can utilize this chat component to control the web page you're on. So the first way is where you can actually from Stubber send data through the webchat to control the page. And then we've got this loop function that you can define for us, and that means every time we chat, every time we say any kind of messages get sent, just before the message gets sent, we call a function, we can pull some live data at that point in time and send it through to the web chat, to Stubber. So those were the two that we've dealt with recently in the last two videos. So this third video is going to focus on server events. So you can see this is the hi we just sent through, and we did get our web chat control event, which our favorite fruit, which we didn't put in over here. But this one only works every time I chat. So every time I chat, we can read something from the page. What if we, even if the chat was closed, wanted to know about certain events on the page? And we can do that by using this control events in the page. So for example, yeah, I can say watermelon, and if I click over here, it will generate a response. So I'm going to go into the stub, just going to close these. So this is my stub over here, and I can now click on a page icon over there, and it would generate an action inside Stubber. So it allows you to, independently of the chat, send data through to the Stubber, to Stubber. So this is a very powerful feature, because it allows, as the customer or the person is doing something on the website, you can either trigger something to happen inside Stubber at that point in time based on the web chat session. And the way you do that is, you can see what we've got over here is we've got a button, and on the button we call this function send page control event. You can see here's the send page control event, and it just gets that readable value. So what it's doing is it's just taking whatever we've typed in over there, right, and then it's running a custom event. So this is a browser API called a custom event, and it's a named event called Stubber web chat page control event. And anytime you emit this event inside your page with the Stubber component, we will pass that through to the stub, right? You can see, there's the AI is picked up on that event, and you can see there's the page. This one didn't even come with a message, but you can see there's the watermelon that we typed in over there. And every time I click on this button now, I'm essentially generating an event back into Stubber, completely independent of the person having to actually chat. So yeah, the implementation on this one's quite simple. All you do is you emit an event. So if they haven't initiated the chat, it can still work even if they haven't initiated the chat. But then what's going to happen is it's going to go onto the create stub, because there isn't a stub session, web chat session yet. So if I just restarted, I didn't even touch the chat, and I sent through test, right? Where would that route to? And it will follow all the same routing rules as standard web chat. So if I clicked it over there, it would go to the create stub, and you could handle it in the create stub then. So you could make it work. So you could essentially implement, with this functionality, you can implement something that doesn't even touch web chat, because you could just use it as a control mechanism back and forth through the page. Because what you could do is you could make, anytime these events get sent, you can pick them up, put them into a stub, and then you can allow the stub to use the server sent events, right? These ones that run this function. And you can essentially, independent of the chat, you could control and read events back and forth on the page. You wouldn't even need the chat. All the chat is just basically a conduit for you to get and reset data inside the page. This is advanced functionality. This is functionality that gives the web developers a lot of freedom to build, much more advanced use cases. You could actually use this for analytics as well. So as the person goes onto a page, you could start a stub that tracks their session as they're going through the page, and every time they're clicking, you're passing that all through to their conversational stub that's tracking all of their clicks history. And then the moment they opened up here to chat, you'd have all of that data inside the conversation already, and you'd know exactly the path they followed and where in the point they actually started wanting to chat to you. If you combine these three elements together, these three new functionalities, you can do a lot of control in the page. So just to recap again, the first one is we allow you to define a function to call when you're sending data from Stubber into the page, and then so that's the from Stubber into the page mechanism. And then there's two mechanisms for reading out of the page back into Stubber. The one is to capture the state of the page every time the person sends a message, and the other one is to send the state of the page at any random point in time by just emitting an event. And that with those three parts, we give you a lot of control of the actual browser where the web chat component is sitting.